Hello Galactic family. Greetings children. I'm Sananda. I come today to tell you about how to balance material and spiritual life. For in duality, my brothers, balance is needed, the center. They need to live their days by taking matter, bringing learning to the soul, but remaining connected to the I Am, to the higher vision of life. It is the balance that will bring the overcoming of your days, anchoring love, but without forgetting what the matter is made, without denying your emotions, your human feelings, balancing between spirit and matter. This is the path of mastery in physical life. In this way, beloved, you will be the awakened members of the new age, anchoring the balance and showing that it is possible to live the material life without entering into the dramas of life, the challenges, sustaining a cosmic vision of life, but without denying matter in itself. By anchoring the purpose of balance in physical life, you become the example of how life is to be lived, by using matter to anchor the necessary learning but remaining connected to the essence, open to the greater reality of life. They become the observers of themselves, living the experiences, but observing life in a superior way, where time, space, separation, everything becomes an illusion of life and thus begin to understand the existential sense of using of a physical garment in these times of profound planetary changes. In this period, my beloved ones, you become the agents of life transformation. You continue to live your lives, your difficulties, your challenges, but in this scenario you simply demonstrate what life is made of, a spiritual experience devoid of time and space, where they assist in the task of anchoring in the matter higher dimensional energies. You live your days, but in this way you bring the consciousness of subtle realms to the material plane. Stop understanding something. The other existential dimensions are not physically separated from you, but vibrationally. The higher dimensions occupy the same physical space that you live today. You can feel these vibrations around you, although your physical senses do not capture these realities. By living material life anchored in the I Am, you are transforming reality. For you anchor your higher purpose simply by living your days, going out to work, having your family relationships, observing the world and its functioning, to contemplate nature. In so doing they are living their days with the higher purpose, doing absolutely nothing extraordinary, only remaining connected to the essence I Am. They observe and show how life is to be lived. They become the example of how to live in matter by being connected with the higher spirituality and in union with the I Am. Understand, children, it is not necessary to isolate yourself. It is not necessary to lead a life totally dedicated to the work of giving without receiving the material return for your service. It is enough that you live your days, your lives, your experiences, that you seek the material return of your physical sustenance in your work, in your life, and anchor a higher purpose of elevation, and then the river flows and you fulfill the purpose of elevating your world, of the changes that help to implant. What they need is to release the experiences, so that they pass naturally, abandoning the idea that matter is inferior to the higher realms. Not inferior matter, it is only experience, the way they have decided to transcend their restraints, to become pure and unified to love. It was for this that they decided to live the material experience. And when you release life from matter, without any restriction, belief, imposition, just living, but always connected to the I Am, you become one with God still in a material experience. There is only the release of guilt and charge, which is born from the moment they learn not to judge. The release of guilt and the charge that you have with yourself that it is necessary to be dedicated to the spiritual all the time is something that must occur. No need for a charge. You need to understand that the natural state of the incarnated being in the New Age is precisely to live life in a natural way as you live today, but always connected to the I Am. That will enable them to truly absorb the learnings from the experiences you experience in a light and pleasurable way. Life is not suffering, life is life as it is. The world does not have to be the suffering you read in the Bible. But it can be the kingdom of God, from the moment you begin to live your days lightly and without charge. Realizing what it's like to be truly happy and fulfilled. The fullness is not the letting go of everything and surrendering to the spiritual. The fullness lies precisely in you remaining embedded in the experiences and always connected to the truth of each one of you. In this way, they can bring from their I Am the wisdom to live their days with joy and to gather the experiences of each day in their cosmic record. This way of living is light and sweet. It is pleasurable and happy. And it makes you definitely able to live in fullness. Material life is not an inferior life, of guilt, of suffering, of judgment. It is a vivid experience of the spirit, where the challenge is precisely to show the strength of the I Am presence in my heart, when despite seemingly disconnected from all life I anchor my inner presence in my days. This is living life in matter, anchoring a purpose of elevation, of spiritual life, but without denying life as it is, understanding with wisdom the experiences that present themselves, keeping intact the inner truth. And for this, beloved, the first rule is the disconnection with the beliefs that permeate your world, with what you have been told as the right, with the commitments you have placed upon you. You free yourself from all of this and live life simply by discovering your inner purpose, disconnected from committed commitments, but balancing yourself to seek your sustenance in matter without judgment, without suffering, simply by living your days. They live life with a greater purpose, but they do not deny material life, but they anchor the purpose of soul in their day, connected to the I Am truth that I hold in my heart. You maintain your family relationships, your work, all the relationships of your life, but you are free from the demands you have placed on you. You are able to simply move forward without looking back and forth, for there is a truth that overflows in your heart. At this point, brethren, social commitments are no longer of interest, matter and enjoyment, honored with gratitude, for the being understands his truth, which is what the I Am connection establishes. You no longer care about living your life in social ways, but you do not deny your experiences. You do not need to isolate yourself, for there is peace and wisdom that overflows from your heart. And this peace, this wisdom, allows the material experience disconnected from the physical restrictions, but connected to the love of the heart. Live life in matter, honor the I Am presence, do not judge the experiences that are presented to you, but only seek your truth every day, every challenge, and thus anchor the highest purpose in your world. Be in peace. I am Master Sananda.